Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to be here at the Leedy Locus Art Gallery here in beautiful downtown Kansas City in the Crossroads District. We are very excited to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and we are surrounded by fabulous art from the fabulous artist, Jason Pollen.
I'm standing in front of one of my aunt's so-called aunts. Had to walk in the woods, picked up twigs, stitched them down into rows, and that became my first non-painting artwork in the 60s, actually. And in a sense, it led me down a path I wouldn't have expected to go on. So that's one of the earliest pieces in the show. And we're moving on to what is a much more recent piece. The title of the show is Witness, and these figures are called, in my view, witnesses. And in a sense, we've all been witnesses in our rather fragile world these last 4 years, last year in particular. And so these figures stand in for kind of an alert presence. And so there's more of a concept or an idea behind these figures than there was with the twigs. The twigs was much more an arrangement of elements in a kind of musical form, whereas this has more to do with the human condition.
And you make your own fabrics?
I do. So to support myself as an artist in France, I became a textile designer, and through that learned a lot about how to dye and print and create fabric. And so a lot of the work in the show has a textile sensibility.
Oh, that's awesome. And you also have been making art all over the world. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, as I mentioned, I traveled from first New York to Europe, and then eventually was discontent with the Western world's philosophy and went to India to live and spent a couple of years there, thinking I'd spend my life there actually, but of course was exposed to extraordinary textiles and creativity there. Then I studied indigo dyeing in Morocco, and so it's a lifetime of exploration.
So you've been learning techniques from literally all over the world. And
yes, because I didn't have a background at all in textiles. I never stitched a stitch or wove or done any of the things that many fiber artists today would learn to do. And so I had to catch up by learning these things on my own.
So as we play our concert, you'll see all of his art. It's a real treat. We have videos and stills for you so you can really dive into what he does, and it is amazing. So the first piece that we are playing is a brand new one. Premiere! I guess it's finished.
It's gonna be finished for today.
Yes. And this one, we kind of came up with the main theme at the last place we were at, the Simpson House, filming our Valentine's Day concert. And a lot of times when we go to different locations, we get this new inspiration, like a song is just waiting for us, and we just immediately both kind of start playing an idea, and of course record it on our phone. So this one is called Simpson House. It's kind of got a Celtic-y inspired feel for St. Patrick's Day. Okay, our next tune is also a Celtic-inspired tune. You'll hear a lot of ornamentation and just some more traditional Celtic elements. And this one is called Julie, and it's named after my little kitty that ran away. She hated the violin, and I had my beginner adult fiddle class, and she just left. She was done. So I hope she found a different house. But really, this is a remembrance piece, really celebrating the lives of those we have lost and those that we miss. And it's called Julie. This next tune is a tune written by Alasdiar, Fraser, and Natalie Haas. We've talked about them before in our past concerts. They are our Scottish twins, also a violin, cello duo. They do traditional music. And this is called the Valley of the Moon Reel. And so it was written by them. So Valley of the Moon is also a camp in California that Alasdiar Fraser puts on every year. It's up in the Redwoods. And one year I got so inspired by one of his workshops that I decided to pack up and go to fiddle camp at the age of 36 years old. And I had this feeling, because we are all going, I was going to stay in a cabin with like 20 other strangers. I just had this feeling that I should borrow a tent from Sasha.
She did.
And when we got to my cabin, it was like a family cabin full of teenage boys and somebody with like some health problems and a CPAP machine. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. So I had someone help me put up the tent. I dragged my mattress out, and that was where I lived. And then I was happy. But I learned a lot of different fiddle styles and tunes, especially Celtic, and got a lot of inspiration from that week up there at Valley of the Moon. So this is the Valley of the Moon Reel.
is fun. Speaking of dance, we are going to play, our next tune is actually our tango. And we thought this was appropriate because besides being a multicultural artist, Jason Pollen's first profession was as a dancer and studied tango in Buenos Aires and all over the world. And so just as his art is eclectic, our music, we try to take from all over the world. And so this is our tango piece. It's called Argentine, and it is named after the Argentine neighborhood here in Kansas City.
And it's also our second piece we ever wrote together.
Yeah, that's true.
It's an old
Nostalgia.
Yes.
20 years. Our retrospective.
Yes.
So, our next one is another premiere. And this one we finished like 2 days ago. So we're mildly freaked out about it. But it's called Museum, and the beginning of it came from when we were filming for St. Joseph Symphony, and we were at the Albrecht Kemper Museum in St. Joe. And we were waiting, we were doing a video shoot, and we were waiting for somebody to set up, and this just came to us. So again, a lot of times especially on this tour, we have been going to different places and meeting amazing people, and just feeling the energy of the space, and just music comes to us. So that was the beginning of this. We started maybe in August, September, I think it was August, but we just finished it, so.
And Sasha was, I think, a little bit disappointed that one of our songs, Simpson House, she said, it's okay, but it's kind of simple in form. And so she took this one to another level and made it into a math problem.
Yeah, for the first 2 days of its life, this was called It's Complicated.
Yes. So maybe you'll hear where it gets complicated, and hopefully you enjoy it. It's called Museum. tunes that we're going to play are traditional tunes. They're both from, well, the first one is from Shetland, which is the islands to the north of Scotland, in between Scotland and Norway. And it's called Peter's Peerie Boat. And then we're going to go into a reel, Drowsy Maggie, which is played in Ireland, but also in Scotland. These are also tunes that we've taught a lot of traditional tunes inside our website, which is for adults who want to learn how to play the fiddle or the cello fiddle. And if you're interested in trying that out, it's free for the first month, and it's fiddlelife.com. Sasha teaches cello. She is very hilarious when she teaches. And I teach the fiddle from the absolute beginning, and then we go into all sorts of different styles. So these are both in the Celtic style, though.
Miracles abound.
Yes. So what do you normally do for St. Patrick's Day?
Well, I like to drink. I have little kids, so I like to do like green crafts with them. I like to decorate. I like playing Celtic music with you.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite memory is you were broken up with your dude at the time, and you came over to my house and you cried on my couch, and then we played Celtic music out on my porch, and I thought the whole neighborhood would come out and like we would have this amazing experience. That did not happen, but we had a good time.
Yeah,
all playing it. It was very fun.
And I take my students, we go to the Brookside St. Patrick's Parade, and I put a bunch of fiddlers on a float, and we play music, but of course that's not happening this year, so it's always a good time. Our next tune is called Uncaged, and it is off of our second album, Wilder.
celebrate St. Patrick's Day without the most famous Irish tune. So we're going to be playing Londonderry Air, or Danny Boy.
This next tune is called Steps, and it is also off of our second album. In this one you'll hear, we keep talking about traditional Celtic elements, and it's a very different style than classical. So one of the cool things that I learned when I started studying Irish and Scottish music is a thing called the Celtic triplet, which really isn't a triplet at all. It's just three bow strokes, but they're not even like you would think of as a triplet. And in Scotland they call it the burl. And so you have to do something kind of crazy with your forearm. You tense up your muscle as much as you can, and then your bow, it's like a little spasm, and then the bow reacts to it. So let me see if I can get myself to do it on cue. So it's like, that's what I'm doing, but it happens very quickly, like a little spasm. And you'll hear that all over music. And then you have a triple thing that you're doing.
I do the Scottish triplet as well, but kind of I do a lot of percussive elements in our music in general. But in this, I'm doing a triple chop. So I do this sound break. I change my bow from, instead of this way as I normally play, I'm actually playing on this plane, and it makes this percussive sound. In this tune, I do a triple chop, which I'm sometimes successful at, and I sometimes fail at. But it's 3 successive chops all in a row. So let me see if I can do it. And again, it's more of a tense technique than what you would use in a classical style.
That sounded like 4.
It did sound like
Oh, maybe I'm getting better.
I was like,
Let's go for 5. Anyway,
quadruple chop.
quad chop. Soon I'm going to be doing ice skating.
Yeah.
Except for not. Okay, so this has a lot of traditional elements. You'll hear some drones, and as a cellist, fiddle players don't do a lot of droning, but as a cellist, filling that accompaniment role, a lot of times we are trying to mimic what a bagpipe would sound like. And so we do a lot of droning for that bagpipe sound.
Have you ever played a bagpipe?
I think they're really hard. Have you played one?
Yes.
Oh, and it's really hard.
Yeah, it's like,
It takes a ton of air.
it's like with your arm, you have to really push in. You have to be really muscular.
I'm good.
So, this one is called Steps, and you'll hear her triple, quadruple, or quintuplet chop.
Chopping.
And you'll hear the cut, or the triplet, or if you think of this as Scottish, it's called the burl.
This next tune is a new tune. We played it, I think, one other time on this series. We're still calling it the most embarrassing name ever, After the Troll Battle. So please help us name this tune, because we cannot accept After the Troll Battle.
We've gotten a lot of good suggestions, but nothing that's like
We
right
haven't
on.
found the perfect thing yet.
Yeah.
And After the Troll Battle is not it.
That is
Despite people's enthusiasm for that type. It's just not cutting it. So, here's After the Troll Battle. To be named, to be determined, its real name. leave this St. Patrick's Day concert without playing our super Celtically inspired tune called Sligo. It's named after a tiny town in Ireland that we've both been to. We've both talked about the story before, but it's beautiful. It's all green. Sligo. And we wanted to thank so much Jason Pollen for sharing his beautiful art. We wanted to thank the Leedy Vocals Museum for having us. And please find out more information about Jason Pollen. We're going to have his website at the end of our video. And you can also get in touch with us in case you have any questions or comments or statements of anger.
And also, our next concert is going to be in May. And we because of COVID, we don't have a real solid plan, but our idea is that we're going to film the concert for virtual, so it will be like this on YouTube as usual. But if you want to watch us film it live outside, hopefully in May, it will be nice enough where we can do it outside at the park. You can come actually have a live Wires concert. Yeah, so more details on that later. We'll send you an email with more information when the time gets closer.
Without further ado, Sligo.